Wait, why did it say 0 seconds before start? Who does that, Zencaster?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter. We are here, and we are here to record. We are here to talk Taskmaster. I'm still recovering after the recording of last episode.
Yes, your voice sounds noticeably different because you've recovered into a different microphone setting.
I don't know, but I'm still trying to get the grips with all this fancy technology that the kids are using.
Yes, the fancy technology, says the old man who was younger than me.
Oh, I may be young, but I feel old as hell. Also, I'm sorry if you hear some creaking. I'm on like this really rickety wooden chair in a tiny little shed in the back of our second home garden. Yeah, I'm very upper middle class.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. No, that's fine.
Anyway, welcome to Your Time Starts Now, a Taskmaster podcast. Today we'll be covering episode 2 of series 2, Pork is a Sausage. I'm Emerson.
And I'm Joe.
The second best Joe after Joe Wilkinson.
Mm-hmm.
Soon to be the third best Joe.
Oh, I would like to dispute that. I do not believe that there is a better Joe than me after Wilkinson, maybe.
Well, we've got Joe Lycett coming up in a few series, so that'll be interesting.
I believe his name is Hugo Boss, although he did change it back. But
yeah, he briefly changed it to Hugo Boss, but that's a story for another day.
That resets him on the Joe seniority scale to way down at the bottom. So I am better.
Anyway, that's a story for another day. Okay, so we're here. You're two regular idiots who know everything about podcasting.
Yep. Everything.
Oh,
absolutely everything.
I just bumped my pop filter trying to reach and get some water. Sorry. Hello, can you still hear me?
Yes. Okay, yes, good. I can.
Okay. So yeah, there'll probably be a lot of background noise today because it's a lot of limited space and like I mentioned, the creaky chair. No squash this week, just water.
I am joined again by my faithful companion, Dr. Pepper and cream soda, 0 sugar. It is, as you may know, as Emerson clanks in the background, I am, of course, a fan of 0-calorie sodas in weird flavors.
Oh, well, we're not here to discuss fizzy drinks and the impact they have.
That was last week.
Yeah, that was last week. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, you should, because not only will you miss out on but you'll miss out on a lot of great moments from us, and including what is arguably the funniest moment we've had on this podcast so far. Yes, it has been. And will that moment ever be topped? Probably, but maybe not today. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's great. We'll have to see if we can drag other people onto this podcast to see if they want to. Like, actually, I'm trying to convince my mom to come on this podcast.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Her response to it was, I don't have my makeup on, which I had to remind her that a podcast is a not visual medium.
Maybe your mom has the face for radio.
Mom, I'm going to let you rethink that statement because A, she listens to this podcast, and B, she will find a way to make you regret it.
Hi, Joe's mom.
But no,
I'm sure your mum is a lovely, lovely woman.
Yes, she is, and actually she helped me do the scoring because I watched this last night and she came in about halfway through. So for the last couple of tasks, we've got my score and her score for this.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I still need to record a jingle for Taskmaster Joe. At this point in time, I haven't done it, but I need to. It'll probably be the worst thing ever. And because we'll be playing it so many times, I should probably this totally. I'll probably just say very quickly at the end of the jingle, this totally won't get annoying.
I think what you should do is you should make the jingle, but you should also do it where it's just you like just singing the words Taskmaster Joe, and we can drop that into every episode this season wherever any of us mention that.
I was thinking of getting
like a censor bleep, but it's all just that drop every time.
I don't know. Let's see what we can cook up, because normally we'll overpromise and underdeliver. Like we'll say,
Yeah.
like we can't guarantee we'll go with the whole sense of belief thing. Maybe we'll just get like a, because my idea was to just get like a royalty free jingle off the internet that's maybe 10 seconds long, and just say like sing Taskmaster Joe over it. If we go with that, you will know by now. But anyway, that's enough about the future of this podcast. Anything interesting in your personal life?
It's raining. That's about it.
Oh, it rained today. It was pissing it down.
It's still raining. It's
And we
been raining
still
on and off
and we
all
went
day.
for
Actually,
we went for a walk while it was raining heavily, and our walk ended when it stopped raining.
I mean, you are English. That is what is supposed to happen to you. We here in the land of eternal freedom and sunshine, we aren't supposed to have this.
Yeah.
But
You may have freedom, but do you have free healthcare?
I mean, I'm on my parents' insurance, so yes,
I meant you plural.
I'm aware of that. But you know, who has the world's largest military? It's actually North Korea, probably, but we are second best at that. And ours isn't full of conscripted slaves. So there we go.
What the hell? You're like Jimmy Carr insulting Henning Ven on What I
I,
Wrote.
I will always be down to insult Europeans.
Europeans, and Europe is not a country; it's a continent. Most countries in Europe have very different cultures.
I am aware of the difference in
Like the
cultures.
countries,
However,
like the cultures in Western Europe, compared to say Eastern Europe and Scandinavia, are not really the same.
I am aware of the cultural differences between, say, Belgrade and Paris, but I also am aware that whenever Americans get shit on by people from continental Europe, they always meant to say us Europeans are better than you Americans without bothering to differentiate which part of the world they live in. So, so it's all also the U.S. has wildly different cultural mo- differences between Miami and Minnesota. There's a lot of regional variations.
I was watching a video of like the dumbest laws in the 50 states,
God.
and I can't. It's stupid because I only watched this video like 2-3 hours ago, and I can't for the life of me remember what any of them were. I think. No, I don't know. I think one of them. I think it was Alaska that said it was illegal to share a hot tub with a bear.
I mean, that's just common sense, but, probably some dipshit tried it and got eaten. And that's like a law that saves you from yourself.
I mean, sometimes stupid laws are created because people do the dumb things in the first place.
That's how most laws are made, or at least in this part of the world. I don't know how England works. It's probably like ye olde script that has been passed down from generation to generation has been decreed that it is illegal to something or other. Probably, confuse Wensleydale with cheddar or something like that.
Oh, don't get me started on Wensleydale. Every time someone says the word Wensleydale to me, I think of Wallace from Wallace and Gromit.
That is the only reason why Wensleydale is still widely produced, is because of that show and
Maybe I'll just put like a Wallace soundbite here of him saying one of his like iconic cheese-related catchphrases.
Not even Wensleydale.
Just here, right here.
Not even Wensleydale. What's wrong with Wensleydale?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's funny. I love that episode of Wallace and Gromit.
There's only been like 4 episodes of Wallace and Gromit.
Plus a movie, plus a bunch of shorts, plus the entire Shaun the Sheep series.
Shaun the Sheep's quite good, actually. I rate it.
I've kept up with Aardman's stuff. I loved Chicken Run.
I haven't seen Chicken Run in ages, man.
Mrs. Tweedy, the chickens are revolting. Finally, something we can agree on. It's such a good line.
I don't know how they feel about casting Mel Gibson as Rocky.
It was all right.
Yeah,
I didn't have any opposition to that film.
It's Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm. This is before he was crazy. This was like 1999.
Oh, I mean, Mel Gibson's been crazy ever since he started making films. I mean, I don't know if I haven't seen Braveheart, but my God,
he wasn't crazy where the public could see him.
Also, Braveheart is weirdly unnecessarily long. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think I've said it before. There are some movies that are just so unnecessarily long that it takes the piss.
I haven't seen Braveheart, so I can't comment. But I think
I might have said this before, but I think one movie I find unnecessarily long is Amadeus, which is the story of Mozart.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mozart versus Salieri, right?
Yeah. I mean, no offense to Mozart, but I don't think enough. After watching the movie, I just don't think enough happened in his life for it to be 2.5 hours of basically just people talking. Like, actually,
I haven't seen it.
I mean, I've seen it, and I've seen it only once, and I'm glad I haven't seen it since. But basically, it's like, I'll give you an idea of how long it was. The DVD was, because we watched it on a DVD in 2015, and the DVD was double-sided.
Oh my god. You know what movie was too long?
What?
Did you ever see the movie Julie and Julia?
I have not, no.
It's about, this is like this is a like early 2010s movie when they like were licensing, when they were like buying movie rights to people's blogs and stuff. I'd read the book that this woman had written because she had decided she was going to make, in the course of a year, every single recipe out of Julia Child's cookbook. And for some reason, this got licensed into a movie with Meryl Streep as Julia Child. And it was good. I watched it because I'd liked the book. And we went to the movies, I think it was at like a 9:30 showtime, and we didn't get out until almost 1 a.m.
Shit.
It was unnecessarily lengthy.
Also, you're lucky I know who Julia Child is, because I don't know a lot of British people who might.
Okay.
She's like the British, she's like the American Mary Berry.
Yes, that is. Julia Child was one of the first people to do cooking television on public broadcasting in the United States, and she really had a love for French cooking. So her shows were known as, one of the shows she did was known as The French Chef. She's basically, this is in the time when like television was wholesome, and I was about to say there is she's basically like the wholesome Gordon Ramsay, but there's actually an Epic Rap Battles of History video where it is Julia Child versus Gordon Ramsay.
That was a while ago.
That was like Epic Rap Battles season 2. That's when, because if you are a connoisseur of internet videos like that, ERB started, they were like 2 minutes long, and they've started to balloon upwards of 6, with a couple of verses for each rap participant, and this one was one of the it's going back now, it's because it's 9 years old now. It's noticeably shorter.
I mean, production value goes up as things get more, but ERB...
It actually had really good production value for what it was.
It did, but I feel like they're now, because they're so high production value now, I think there was a Harry Potter versus Luke Skywalker not too long ago. But
that was done entirely in Lego.
Yeah, I think it's only one of like 2 to be entirely in Lego.
Mm-hmm. But that one was also during the 2020 lockdown. They did that. So I think that was more as like, we can't do anything else.
Yeah, pretty much. What I will say, though, is because their production value's gone up, they're fewer and farther between now.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I always am a little annoyed by, is when it's like, I would rather you have a mildly lower production value if we could have regular uploads. Because
I think it's so like the parody channels who do like their own versions can like maybe thrive on it without being overshadowed, I guess, because there's a lot of rap battle parodies recently.
I actually haven't seen a lot of those, but I think also ERB stopped for a while for some reason. If I can remember. Also, by the way, I'm sorry if you have no idea what we're talking about. Like, if you're listening to this in the future, there was a YouTube channel called Epic Rap Battles of History where they would pit historical figures
or fictional characters
against each other in
or even
comedic
current
rap
figures.
battles.
Even current
yes, notable inclusions were multiple rounds of Darth Vader versus Hitler.
Those were good.
Um,
Steve Jobs
various
versus Bill Gates. That's probably one of the
um,
most infamous battles, not just in rap, but ever.
my personal favorite is from last year, Thanos versus Robert Oppenheimer, in which Oppenheimer destroyed Thanos somehow. It's really good. It's really well done. It's only like 4 minutes long. Also, they had various presidents of Russia against each other, and also like Marx and Lenin were involved. That one was very good, but they're known for
Lots of
their
research
elaborate
goes in.
production values. Yeah, they're a lot of elaborate green screen work and costuming, and the fact that they can actually do makeup and look like the people they're portraying while rapping really quickly. Weird Al's been involved in a couple of them. Key and Peele,
Snoop Dogg was in one, I think.
American comedians. Yes, Snoop Dogg has been in a couple.
Yeah.
Or one. It was very big, like in the
late 2000s,
YouTube,
early 2010s.
No, this is mid 2010s. This is when YouTube
that's more
really big and people were making money off of it, but it wasn't to the point where it's like everything was a shameless cash grab. By the way, we're thinking of starting a Patreon soon. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But this is when everything was marketed by companies, but they hadn't yet figured out how to make money off of it, is when ERB was at its peak. Someone can probably do a paper into like the different stratas of YouTube history. Because this is like when they were made specifically to go viral, but they also still were like made because they wanted to do this and not because they wanted to exclusively make money.
Yeah, YouTube is like that nowadays. No shade to anyone who makes money off of YouTube.
No shade at all, but I will absolutely roast someone alive if they say hit that bell, because that is like, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that.
Smash that like button.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate
physically
that sort of thing.
Physically assault the like button.
I hate it. I hate all the little like on-screen graphics where they'll have like a cursor come up and click on a like button and like to show you how to do it as though it has never happened before in your life. It's like, we all know what it is. There are children who have grown up who have never known a world without YouTube. We are aware of the user interface, and if we don't like your video, it's because we genuinely dislike it. It's like, also, my God.
Sometimes people just can't be asked to actually click the like button or comment.
Well, I mean, yes, that's true, but it's like sometimes if you do that,
I mean,
YouTube recommends.
I don't blame them. You don't have to like or comment every video, except if it's the video versions of our podcast, in which case, smash the like button and physically assault the subscribe button as well.
Please don't hit the bell, though. Nothing is worth being notified for.
I mean,
in your day-to-day life, especially
we upload episodes every Wednesday, with the exception of the previous episode, which came out specifically on Monday, the 21st of June.
Also, we upload these in the middle of the night. We schedule these to go up at, last season. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but we're probably going to aim for the same time, is 12:30 in the morning British Standard Time, and which translate to around 8:30 at night East Coast time in the US, and then work out your own time zone from there. But that is not an ideal time to listen to a 2+ hour podcast.
And the reason why our podcasts are 2+ hours is because the first 20 minutes is mostly fluff, which it is now.
Yes, it is fluff. And but I enjoy this. This is fun. But yeah, it's into the history of YouTube with people who were there for the entire thing. I remember when oh my God, that's basically back in my day, YouTube videos could only be 10 minutes long. And if you wanted to upload something longer than that, you had to make it 2 parts or more.
No.
God.
I mean, long videos have been on the rise recently, because I think the timestamps feature has really encouraged longer videos.
Yeah, YouTube's going for either these motherfuckers are going to sit here for an hour and watch something, or they're going the exact opposite way and are doing like sub 60-second shorts to compete with TikTok, which I personally, again, internet history here, I personally think that TikTok does not capture the appropriate chaotic energy of a short video like Vine did.
No, because of like them being like 6-7 seconds, you had to be really, really snappy and cram
You
everything
can
in.
have chaos in 60 seconds. There are plenty of actually YouTube shorts, for as much as as a lot of YouTube creators will malign them because they aren't being promoted in a monetary fashion. Right now, according to YouTube's algorithm, from what I've heard from other YouTubers, a lot of people are taking clips from existing shows that either they made or that they found online and putting them into the shorts format, which is objectively a terrible way to watch television. But if we are doing this, they've managed to actually like slice it down into just the highlights, and it actually is really cool. But you can actually have a 60-second like chaos energy clip, and just TikTok does not accomplish that.
Yeah,
Also, it's Chinese spyware.
I have to thank you for being the person to put all the timestamps on the YouTube videos, because people are going to be like skipping around everywhere to find out when this shit's going to start.
It takes so long to do all of that.
Imagine having to sit, listen, and edit to it and cut it down, and edit all the voices and stuff.
How long does it take you? Because I
have to listen to the full episode, which is in the range of like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I have to edit the voices perfectly, which can take somewhere between 10-15 minutes. I have to sometimes edit stuff out and throw in sound bits, and those can take a while to download. So in all, it takes me around 2.5, on the very rare occasion, 3 hours to edit an episode.
I think I put 6 or 7 hours into an episode because, first of all, I have to watch the damn thing and take notes.
Oh yeah, that's included too. I mean, watch it on a faster speed.
I don't, because I write down quotes and stuff. Then I record it. So a 2-hour episode, like this is probably going to be 2 hours. Sorry if it's
yeah. I mean, we're already 22 minutes in.
Yeah, but a 2-hour episode is I'll spend an hour and a half watching it, 2 hours recording it with you. I listen through the entire episode at least once, which I do that in the car, so that's not time lost. But then I have to go back through it and edit it, and that'll take to do the YouTube video, because I put visual jokes and stuff in there. I wish I could be one of those people who's like, this is good enough, but I really am not, and it really sucks because that takes 3 hours sometimes, if not more, like 3 to 4 hours at night, typically the day it's going up, and then I have to render it, which that'll take 45 minutes to an hour. Then I have to upload it to YouTube, which takes like half an hour for some reason. While I'm doing that, I'm putting the timestamps in. Also, I spend 10 or 15 minutes making the cover in my photo editor. So I think I saved 8 to 10 hours per episode in this. I
saved Joe a bit of time by designing the cover thumbnail for the previous episode, which is Alex with a yoga ball gag in.
Mm-hmm,
the Photoshop is horrendous, but that's why it's funny.
Yeah, that's great. Photoshop is horrendous in general because Adobe wants you to pay like $600 a year for a recurring license, and you can't buy a permanent one. As a matter of fact,
I just use a free Photoshop.
I asked my parents for my Christmas present to be Affinity Photo, which is a like Photoshop-esque service that was $60 for a permanent license. And before that, I used GIMP, which I really should have used if you're putting Alex Horn in a ball gag, is GIMP, because that's really funny as a gag, but dumb tish. And then
a ball gag.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm trying to get into a computer-aided design, and I looked at stuff like AutoCAD and other things of that nature, and AutoCAD is $1,200 or so, which it's a good system from what I've heard, except it is $1,200 every year. They don't offer permanent licenses anymore. So I had to go with this random software called ActCAD that got sent to us regular mail from someplace on a thumb drive the size of like my thumb. And
well, it's called a thumb drive.
No. Most thumb drives are like are sized enough to like you don't lose it. This one I had to put it on a keychain. I was afraid I'd lose it otherwise, and it's a permanent license, but it's like. I haven't used it yet, so I'm not gonna make any judgments on it. But it is like we tried to look it up because we missed an email from them. It's like because they were asking us, where do you want us to send it, even after we gave them our address, and it's like this is weird. And it comes to us regular mail in an envelope, and and we tried looking it up through my PayPal records, and it was like this. It's like this company does dentistry. It's like the name of a dental supply company as well. It's so weird. Like the company that makes it. It's so weird. It's really funny, and but that's what you've got to do if you want to not have to have a recurring subscription. Which, by the way, we're thinking of starting up a Patreon. Please let us know in the comments whether or not you want to have a recurring subscription to this podcast.
Okay, I think it's time that we got back on track because we've been waffling for nearly half an hour now.
There's a track, but yes, we should call this episode like Money or Shameless Cash Grab.
Well, I think we'll choose a title as we go further on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to start with the price task on pork is a sausage?
Yes, I will. This was provide the trendiest item of clothing. And Alex immediately starts out by saying who brought in their nattiest threads, which Greg makes fun of. And these are, I think we all have a different idea of what trendy means.
Yeah.
Because I like some of these. I also don't like some of these. And unfortunately, the one I think that won, the one that should have won, is very much like the most boring of all of them. So we're starting off with Richard Osman. And Osman, as anyone who might have guessed, there is a band in the United States from the 60s and 70s called the Osmonds, which is a bunch of...
the Osmond brothers.
No, just the Osmonds, or the Osmond family, I think.
Yeah, but the Osmond, they're like a group of brothers who are called the Osmonds.
Yes, they're four brothers. They did very wholesome-esque 60s and 70s pop and rock songs, and they were Mormons, which sort of gives you an idea of who they are. Interesting factoid about the Osmonds: the reason they came to stardom is that they were in a barbershop quartet, and they went to Disneyland, and because this was the 60s, they just decided they were going to wear their barbershop quartet uniforms around Disneyland, and someone from Disney's PR department was just like, you look like you can sing. Do you want to try it? And when they did, and they were good, they offered them on the spot a position in Disneyland's retinue of on-park singers for the rest of the summer. So that was how the Osmonds got their start, was because they wore eye-catching clothing in public. But what this has to do with Richard Osman is that his last name sounds very much like the Osmonds. And so one of his friends has made him a shirt that says the Osmonds, which is a picture of an album cover of the Osmonds with his face superimposed over each of the members of the band.
And also the name is spelled...
The Osmonds.
So it's spelled... so that it would normally have been spelled Osmonds. So now spells Osmans.
Yeah, and it's very funny. It actually, if that was a shirt that I could buy in person, I probably would. Which I
personally wouldn't buy it.
It's such a good gag. I love visual gags like that.
Mm-hmm. If you like visual gags, you should watch BoJack Horseman.
BoJack is a little too depressing. I've heard
it's depressing,
really
but
good,
it's also really funny. Not at the same time, but in the rare moments, it's really funny.
Yeah, but I don't want to watch depressing stuff. That's like if I'm watching a piece of fiction, I want everyone to be happy. That's the whole point of fiction, is that it can be whatever you want it to be. And I want it to not, people to not be sad.
Well, I'm personally,
It's, I,
I'm not a big fan of fictional television, but BoJack Horseman is one of my favorite fictional TV shows of all time.
yeah, I've heard good things about it, but I'd rather watch like something where it's like, hey, this is just nice and happy and people are not sad at all, which is, it's not a lot of shows, but like I like sitcoms. They're funny.
Yeah. Taskmaster's
But
like a sitcom. Anyway, Catherine
on
Ryan.
to Catherine Ryan has brought in what is obviously the best piece of clothing here.
Oh, I want these leggings. I want to buy a pair of these leggings, and I would wear them in public with pride.
I don't do leggings, but I definitely would want this pattern on a different piece of clothing.
I called it Unicorn versus Robosaurus in my notes.
Yeah, it is. Mine is Rainbow Unicorn versus Robot Dinosaur, which, as you might suspect from the name, it is a unicorn with a rainbow background on one leg and a robot dinosaur on the other leg, and they're not fighting, but
they're just
it is
looking at each other menacingly.
It's very good. It's a very good look. I love that.
It kind of reminds me of Roisin Conaty's stained glass cardigan from last series.
The bright colors do that, but this is better because it doesn't look like it hurts to wear it. Yeah. Roisin's looked like it actually could cause you pain just from sitting wrong in it.
Yeah.
But
and also Greg described them as horrific. These unicorn.
Well, that is Greg's opinion, and that is incorrect. Anyways, next we have John Richardson, and he has a cardigan with a very deep V-neck in it. And as loath as I am to say it, this is probably the closest thing to trendy, because it looks kind of raggedy. It looks kind of not
It's very
great.
John Richardson.
It's very John Richardson, but it's also very hip. It's very trendy. It's what you would see someone wearing while they walked down the street.
It's probably something my dad would wear.
Yeah, and that's sort of like muted gray, because it's a muted color. It's not bright or colorful or anything. It's this sort of muted, I'm going to wear this and I'm going to walk from like one hipster coffee bar to another sort of thing. It's what someone who's actually is trying to be trendy would wear, and what we as society have decided for the moment is trendy. And so I think this is actually the closest to trendy, because the current thing in the streetwear community is to wear clothes that look like you pulled them out of a Goodwill bin. And so that's kind of where that lies. Although, interestingly enough, this has another cardigan or a waistcoat sewn into it, so you can remove the outer cardigan to reveal an inner cardigan, like it's Cardiganception.
And that could be the episode, Cardiganception.
Cardiganception is a good one, and
we'll just have a picture of John Richardson's cardigan as the thumbnail.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Save us a bit of time on photoshopping and stuff.
Yeah, or just have the Inception poster, but with the cardigan in it.
Oh no, we'll see.
Yeah, but
you'll know the outcome by the time you see this episode.
Yes, you will. But then we have Joe Wilkinson, and he has his best tie, which this is a great tie. This is a great tie. It is a woman wearing a grass skirt, whom he claims to be his Auntie Pam from Norwich, and plus an old style car, like from the 1910s ish. It looks like the straight up and down windshield and the it looks ancient. And he claims that he gets the most wolf whistles from this. So while he's wearing this, so no, that's fine. It's that is his thing. And then from Doc Brown.
Sorry, can I just say one thing about Joe Wilkinson first?
Yeah,
Joe Wilkinson always he always just looks and behaves like 5 minutes ago someone shook him awake and dragged him onto set, and now he's here.
Joe Wilkinson, I was reading something like literally yesterday on the Taskmaster subreddit where someone posted, it's like, has anyone noticed that Joe Wilkinson is basically a precursor to Mike Wozniak in that they both wore suits to the taping and the show, and in all the tasks. They both act like this, and then more to the point, people are like saying, like, I've worked with them outside of this. I have no idea how much of this is an act and how much of this is their personality. And so it's very interesting that, like, we've got a precursor all the way back in season 2 to Wozniak.
Sorry, Joe, but I will always prefer Mike Wozniak to you.
I'm not saying
Joe Wilkinson, that is.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm not saying I have a preference. I'm just saying that it is a very interesting parallel.
No, but
and then
I want Mike Wozniak to be protected at all costs.
From himself, if nothing else. The man is going, it's like first a hemorrhoid, what's next, a hernia?
And also the way he insults the vole, or undermines the vole. But we will cross that bridge when we get to it, even though it's very recent. Maybe this time in, say, 2-3 years, we will be on Series 11.
We could go a lot faster than that if you wanted to.
I can't. We have to take breaks and shit, or else we'll exhaust ourselves.
That's true. But anyways, on to Doc Brown, who he brought in a pair of Converses, which Converse is a brand of sneaker.
Everyone knows Converse.
I just in case someone doesn't know, I don't like Converses that much. They've never been my kind of shoe. But these are interesting because they are red. They are bright red, first of all. And they are also... They've been waterproofed in some way. I think they've been rubberized or coated in rubber. But according to Doc, they are basically like wellies with laces, which, for anyone who doesn't know, Wellingtons are a kind of deep, like ankle-deep rubber wader.
Yeah,
boot.
Catherine wears them when she's doing more physical tasks. Not Doc's waterproof Converse, wellies. So, like, she wore them in the potato throwing task, for example.
Yeah. And,
also, wellies are cool. I want a pair of bright yellow ones and, like, a matching yellow raincoat. And then I'd get a red balloon and chase a paper boat down a drain. For some...
Do you just want to be Madeline from the children's book series?
No, I'm talking about Georgie from It.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the French children's... Is that what it's called? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Well, I don't remember it as a book series. I remember it more as a TV show from when I was very young. But, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Aha, yes. Yes, they wear yellow school uniforms. I'm sorry. It's a 1939 book written and illustrated by Ludwig Bemelmans. He's...
Must be European.
He's Austrian, but it was published in America, set in a boarding school in Paris.
Okay.
I remember this shit.
But we were not describing Madeline or Madeline, yes. However you choose to pronounce it. I remember it being pronounced Madeline, personally.
I don't remember.
But I was thinking more along the lines of Georgie from It with the balloon and the... I mean, Georgie doesn't have the balloon in the scene, but he runs after the boat into the drain and then meets Pennywise.
I don't like horror movies, so I'm going to take your word for it. The only...
I mean, it's not like a... I mean, I think my definition of a horror movie is something more like Whiplash now. Because it, like, really messed with my head, Whiplash.
With J.K. Simmons?
Yes.
That's not a horror movie.
Well, it's it's more psychological. Movie. It's more horrifying because of how real it is.
Yeah, but horror movies have blood and death and men with axes and things like that. Whiplash is just a psychological thriller.
Yeah, but it feels very horror to me, and I classify it as such.
No, actually, I'm not gonna agree with you on this one. That is not a horror movie in the slightest. It is firmly within the thriller category, if it is anything at all.
Okay, we need to stop. We need to stop going down tangents. Let's just say I want a pair of yellow.
Is.
Yes, but it's also fucking hell. It's also Taskmaster related.
Theoretically, anyways, yes.
I would like a pair of yellow
wellies
and a matching yellow raincoat.
Cool. And so we are gonna. And now here's the results that Greg gave. Greg gave 5 points
Doc Brown.
to Doc, which, as someone who does like shoes, I do kind of agree with this result, but also I don't.
They were very underwhelming.
The coloring is not great, and they got Converse and also the waterproof. No. I don't like that.
Sorry, I'm being really fidgety today.
Yeah, I can. You're fine. Next up is Catherine. Her Rainbow Unicorn versus Robot.
I would have given
Dinosaur
these
leggings
first, personally.
I did give them first place.
Okay, we'll go to Taskmaster Joe when we find that out
in a second, and then John actually was going to get first place because I think Greg correctly realizes this was going to be, this is like the thing that actually trendy people wear. But then John looked at Greg funny, and Greg knocked him down to third place.
That's weird. That's rather mean, I think. But oh well, we move.
This is Greg Davies. And then Joe Wilkinson's tie got second, which he was very pleased about.
No, got 2 points. It got
second to last. These points were awarded in a weird order.
Yeah,
they went from like fifth to first to third to fourth.
He does it based off instinct.
Yes, and
Richard Osman's T-shirt gets 1 point.
Yes, and now for Taskmaster Joe, let's wait for the theme song to play. That's still going to get annoying really fast. I gave Catherine first place, as we all should have.
Yep.
Then I really liked Richard's shirt because that's really funny. That's a really funny look, and that's something that I think some people would wear unironically. Then I gave this a joint second place with John Richardson because, as I said, this is something that trendy people would wear, like just as a daily clothing item. So it's not flashy, but that is the actual definition of trendy. Then I liked Joe's tie. It's just that there's better things ahead of it. So that's third. And then I'm going to give Doc fourth place because there's none of these are bad. This was not a bad prize task.
No, it wasn't. Sorry.
And then, what were you going to bring? Because I am going to send you a picture of what I would bring. You just have to...
I don't really have any what I call trendy items of clothing. I guess what I would bring is... because I have a pair of custom-made Adidas Superstars with metal toe caps and my name engraved on the side. So that's cool.
That's incredibly trendy. Now...
I mean, it's trendy, but also very, very easy to come by. It's not really expensive. I mean, like for custom-made shoes from Adidas, it really wasn't that expensive.
Hold on.
It was about 80, I think it was about 80 quid or something.
Really? Okay, cool. I just sent you... Oh, did it not go? The fucking...
I don't have Discord open. Bear with us, folks.
No, I'm sending it to you through Instagram because everything is terrible and I hate.
Oh,
and
hold on, I've got it.
It's a large image file.
I'm gonna mute for a second.
One sneeze later.
Sorry, I had to sneeze.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with hearing people. Oh, it's coming back.
One more sneeze later.
I'm comfortable with hearing people hearing me burp, but not sneeze.
It's also much louder through the thing. This is going to get cut out. It better get cut out.
Did you hear me sneeze?
No.
Okay, good.
Here, I sent you this. Pick any piece of clothing in this look.
Who's wearing this?
Me.
That's you?
Yes.
Oh, I'd never seen you before.
No, you haven't. This is the grand old face roll. Pick any piece of clothing from that eyesore of an outfit.
Okay,
and that's...
Give me a second to just... Because I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'd never seen Joe until I'd seen this picture. But now I've seen Joe... Joe's probably vaguely aware of what I look like because
yes.
if we mentioned like our socials and stuff in like the Q&A episode, and I mentioned my Instagram, there is a picture of me on my Instagram, so you can see what I look like. I knew you had brown hair. This aside from the brown hair, I didn't really know what to expect. But I'd say I'd say that is a pretty trendy outfit. Maybe not the shorts, but the jacket, the shirt, and the shoes. I'd say you could turn that whole outfit. I'd say you could turn the whole outfit in, and it would win.
Yeah, but the problem is that I wouldn't, because I really like these clothes. So to walk you through it, the jacket is from the 1992 Albertville Winter Olympics, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Is this particular jacket? The back is even worse than the front.
I know what.
It's because it's got
through John's jacket. We will make this the episode thumbnail if you're comfortable with that.
I mean, I almost want to make the jacket it, because this is I don't want to show my face to a lot of people yet.
Yeah, all right. You can just you just take a picture of the jacket on like a plain background and send it.
Hold on,
we'll find a picture of it and we'll use it.
Oh yeah. No, hold on. I'm sending you this right now, because this is what the back of that coat.
I don't know why you're sending me this on Instagram and not Discord, but oh well.
Because Discord does not take images over a certain size.
How big was this one?
And this was cut down because my camera takes them at 12 megabytes, and Discord's maximum size is 8. So this one I had to edit down significantly. Okay. I sent you the picture of the jacket on Discord. This is
that's
great.
That's a sick jacket. When is that? What Olympics? It's called the Olympics.
1992 Winter Olympics, Albertville, France.
Ooh,
France.
Yeah,
this is
Francais.
I've discovered that 1990s Olympic branded clothing are some of the wildest patterns you can find.
That's a sick jacket. I'll give you that. Maybe we'll make that the thumbnail.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's what I would bring.
We'll probably disclose it. I mean, if you want it, you'll have to contact Joe to get something like it.
If you want it, they're on eBay. They're not entirely difficult to come by.
It's not really something I'd wear because I don't look good in a color that's not like midnight blue or something.
I look good in whatever the fuck I want to wear.
I mean, obviously I'm okay with people wearing whatever they want, but I personally have come to the reason that I do not look good in a color that's not blue or black.
Yeah, so yeah, that is what I would have brought, because
basically the color blue has been associated with me since the day I was born, and I cannot shake it off.
Yeah, I've started wearing Hawaiian shirts over the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's what you'd wear to the scene of like a Taskmaster task or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I wear those just in regular everyday life.
I mean, I was thinking because we know Victoria Corin Mitchell's going to be in the next Series 12.
Yeah.
Obviously, people wanted David Mitchell on for a while, but I'm happy waiting a little while to see him. I hope he comes out in like some Dickensian gentleman outfit with a top hat and a cane or something.
So he looks like how Frank Skinner used to dress every day.
I think there's a picture of. This is great content. Well, don't worry, we will get all these. We should use all these pictures in the the video version. If you're not,
I do.
If you're not comfortable showing your face, Joe,
I'll blur it out.
Yeah,
I'll blur it out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. This is my shit. Like this is. I always am like glaring at myself when I'm doing it, because I know I have to put it into the video, and hunting down images and inserting them and making sure they line up exactly with the vocal cues is such a pain in the ass, and I do it to myself. Like, have you watched any of our video podcasts, Emerson?
A couple. I've scrolled through them to just like see various points.
Yeah, I do. I make sure that the video it lines up exactly.
I googled David Mitchell top hat, hoping to get a picture, because he's been in I think he's been in a couple of like Dickensian comedy dramas, and I got a picture of him and Victoria in Halloween. Going to the image is called Jonathan Ross's Halloween Party, and David Mitchell is dressed like a weird Joker knockoff. And
dude, put that in the Discord. I
will.
That.
I'll let the image speak for itself. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you can see the image probably about now.
I'm sorry, future. Oh my God, that is. Oh,
You know what? Screw.
Holy shit!
You know what?
That is
David Mitchell.
that is
If David Mitchell ever does Taskmaster, he should turn up wearing that.
That is it. The holy crap!
It's the most un-David Mitchell thing ever.
That is just because he hasn't. It looks like someone just handed this to him as he left his house. Because he hasn't shaved. He hasn't made any effort to be involved in this outfit. This outfit has just occurred to him. And then Victoria's behind him in like
she's trying. Her costume's okay.
trying.
I mean, I wouldn't say
but
the costumes are both fine. I mean, it is the most un-David Mitchell thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, actually, this is ridiculous. This is like we're just going to derail this whole podcast for a second and just
we haven't even got talking about the first task, and we are 50 minutes in.
This is on track for us. I mean, I was watching the episode last night, and I was at one point I looked up. It'd taken me an hour to get 15 minutes into the episode.
Oh yeah, because you make extensive notes like a bitch.
Yes, I do. I do make extensive notes, which is the only reason that we actually know what goes on in this show. Mr. Yeah, that, and also I wasn't sure what to say, so I may need a hand. Also, from our Discord chat.
Discord is. I mean, I should say the only reason David Mitchell has a beard is so he looked at least 40 years old, and not 4 years old like he did before.
Mm-hmm. Like, that is why I have a beard too.
In his Peep Show days, David Mitchell looked too young. He looked too young, so he basically grew the beard to match his age.
Yeah, he looks weird and misshapen without the beard.
Yeah.
But my chin hasn't seen the light of day in probably 10 years, if not more.
I mean,
but that is just an unsettling image.
Maybe that could be a Patreon tier. $10 a month. For $10 a month, and Joe will shave a little bit of his beard off every month.
No. I'm just going to put my foot down right there. No.
Maybe you could go with a moustache.
No. I like the way I
grow
look.
A Mike Wozniak moustache.
No, I draw the line at body mod. Even temporary, no.
Well, I mean, I got my ears pierced, so...
Yeah. Yes, and also you sent that to me, but you sent me that in like the most ominous way possible. It's like, Joe, I've got some news for you. And it's like, what? What news? Have you died? Has something happened? Are we not doing the podcast anymore? And then it's like, I got my ears pierced. It's like, oh, okay.
You were very underwhelmed, and it was a bit...
Because I thought it was going to be like, hey, I died or something like that. Or like, hey, we're not doing the podcast anymore. It's like, what does that mean?
I mean, just to let you know, we have no plans to cancel the podcast at the moment.
I know, but you waited like 5 or 10 minutes between sending the I've got news and the picture of your ears pierced.
Sometimes I just can't be fucked to send a message.
I know, but it leaves time for it to be open to interpretation.
Okay,
I'm very much like David Mitchell on that. It's like, what does this mean? I have no context for it.
Oh God, David Mitchell. Would I lie to you? Is the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
David Mitchell, Lee Mack. I mean, they're both amazing people.
Lee Mack is so quick on his feet.
Oh yeah. We'll talk more about Lee Mack in many series time. But for now...
At the same time, we'll be talking about Mike Wozniak.
Yeah, but obviously I say Mike Wozniak is the most precious human being in the world, but we will go more into that at a much later date. Also, have you seen Mike Wozniak without facial hair? Because it is cursed.
I might have to look that up. I've been really trying to keep as much of my interaction with the later seasons down to a minimum because I want to watch it for the first time when
There's a picture of Mike Wozniak where he's got like a bit of like a stubbly beard, which is okay, but a picture of him just with no facial hair whatsoever is so uncomfortable to look at. It's like seeing someone who wears glasses all the time, who you've never seen them take them off, and it's so weird.
Yeah. I'll have to look that up.
For example, Richard Osman. I've never ever seen Richard Osman without his glasses, and there's a part of me that's really scared that he'll take them off at one point, and I will not be ready for it.
Richard Osman has probably never seen Richard Osman without glasses on either, if you think about it. Because I wore glasses for a long time, and I don't know what my face looks like. I didn't know what my face looked like.
I mean, you're
without them.
wearing sunglasses in this picture. You sent me.
I'm startlingly nearsighted. I can see like maybe 3 inches in front of my face without glasses, and I have contacts now.
Okay.
But yeah,
I always imagined you as someone who wore glasses.
Yeah, I can see maybe, like, for those of you who wear corrective lenses, my prescription is -8 and -850 in my eyes, which is like you blind as fuck. I can't see anything. I didn't know what the inside of my shower looked like for 10 years.
I'm sorry.
No, do you wear glasses?
I don't wear glasses.
Lucky fucking.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it, I guess. I mean,
yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Well, maybe if I were like, because I think the thing is, I would like wear fake glasses for the sake of it, but it wouldn't like change my eyes too much to the point where it'd be like.
No. You would. It's after a while you get really fucking sick of it because. You have to take them off and you can't see, or shit gets on them and you can't see. I'm still annoyed at my sunglasses, but it's like, for doing this, but like, actually, like, I still have forces of habit where, like, I'm driving sometimes and I will take my sunglasses off to clean them because some shit has gotten on them. And I will be really afraid for my own life for about half a second because I was used, because I had glasses for 10 years. And it's like, I was used to just not being able to see anything.
But
like,
you don't wear glasses now?
No, I wear contacts. I'm waiting until my eyes have like stopped changing fully so I can get LASIK.
There's something I'll say to you, but I'll say it after the podcast in private because I feel like it's funny, but at the same time, I just don't want to say too much now.
Okay. That's a nice ominous thing again. But
okay. Let's see how far we're in. We are now 57 minutes in.
And we're going to talk about task 1.
Finally.
Yes.
All right. No more tangents. No more tangents.
That's going to last all of 30 seconds.
It's like SpongeBob in that one episode where he tries to get ribs and he's like struggling to do a press up, and then his arms just break and he completes one. He just says 1 and moves on.
Is this going to be our first 3-hour episode?
I hope not, because our longest episode was only just over 2 hours.
I know. If it's over 3 hours, there's going to be at some point just a card on screen of the YouTube video that says, then the editor got so fed up with this that he's not going to edit the rest of this video.
Okay.
And
well, I think we're going to breeze through task 1 quite quickly, I think.
Yes. This is, for the audience ahead, this is a 4-task show. Yeah. Because there was an in-studio only task. But fortunately, a couple of these tasks are very quick, like task 1.
Okay, task 1. Should I take task 1 because you did the
Yes, we do. Yes.
Okay, so the task 1 is eat an egg. The fastest wins. Obviously, you can do anything you want. You can drink the egg raw, or you can cook it, or whatever.
Which I should point out, it was "Eat Me Fastest Wins" written on the egg and the egg cup. There was no task envelope present at all, which I think is actually the first time they have had an alternative task where the task is not on a piece of paper. It was
worded very Alice in Wonderland-y with the whole eat me and stuff.
Yes.
Or drink.
Eat me was written on the egg.
It said eat me. Yeah.
Eat me was written on the egg, and then fastest wins was on the egg cup.
Okay, I didn't note that down. I just wanted to say, so we start off with John and Doc, and while John is talking, he cracked the whole egg into the egg cup, and the egg cup was not big enough to hold all his egg, and some of his egg yolk, egg white, raw egg white, overflowed, like it just slurped out like a wave.
Out onto the
and
table.
The impact this had was monumental, basically. Like, just everyone just went like, at the sight of it.
Everyone was revolted by this task when it was presented to them because
I found it more hilarious than revolting. To
no, we can talk about our reactions to this, but all of the people on the show were utterly revolted by this. Doc is disgusted. Catherine thinks it's gross. John thought it was a hard-boiled egg, and so just went to crack it on the table and seemed really shocked and disgusted when it actually wasn't.
I love misleading moments like that. I think there's a couple of, in Series 9, there's a couple of really misleading moments which we'll get to. But my God, it's so funny sometimes. But anyway, what John does with...
Alex has to warn people not to eat raw egg.
Yeah. So
at home,
Sorry, keep going.
Oh, no, that was like Alex says in thing. You might want to just put this clip in here, but he's like, I'm required to warn people at home not to do this at home.
Well, that's not going to work, is it? Am I going to eat it raw, you think?
You don't have to. There's a kitchen ready if you need it.
How much do I want to win this task? Will I be sick? Has anyone eaten it raw?
All good questions.
I mean, we might reach 3 hours with all the sound bites we're going to put in, because when we get to the nursery rhyme task, I feel contractually obligated to include sound bites of all their performances.
Oh, God, yes, we are going to have to do that.
But oh well, I mean, it won't be too difficult. But
yes.
So John and Doc are lumped together because they had very similar approaches. They both cook their eggs, John in the microwave, Doc in a frying pan. Doc gets, I think, some black pepper and tries to season his egg, and he says that I might not be the fastest, but I was the only one who seasoned his egg. Immediately, he is proved wrong by John Richardson, who
used peri-peri salt.
Sorry, I've just got to mute again.
1/3 and final sneeze later.
Yeah, also, I would just like to point out that Doc is not an egg man, and he is not he's a man of not many things, as we'll find out throughout this
episode.
episode.
I'm back. I had to sneeze again, sorry.
But he tries to open the egg with his mouth.
That would like probably make your gums bleed or something, because the eggshell's quite sharp.
We're going to talk about sharp eggshells when we're done with this, because my mom said the same thing to me, because I was like, "Hey, Ma, come look at this." When I with the picture of the egg that just had "eat me" on it, and so she started watching from like halfway through this task, and she was like, "Oh yeah, if you ate that, you would just hurt your gums."
Also,
which is something that I would not have considered.
I think both of them. I think both of them. Doc definitely did this, but he just came running back into the lab with like a wooden spoon and the frying pan he'd cooked his egg in, just like spooning it into his mouth. And both John and Doc were hopping around because the egg was so hot.
Yes, they shoveled it into their mouths. And it's like neither of them seemed to be aware that hot eggs were hot. And I actually this morning while I was having breakfast, I was having eggs, and it was like, this is very hot, and I was like, I see where they're coming from now, because I was eating it on my way out the door, and it's like, but can I just point out that Doc is not an egg man because of a certain. Do you want to talk about this, or would you like me to? Because this is the most hilarious reason I don't like something.
I can't really remember it off the top of my head. You can talk about it.
So Doc says that they creep him out because when he was 6, he was explained by his sister what a period was. And then his sister said that eggs were basically a chicken's period. This is why he does not like eggs. That is the worst explanation of what an egg is in my life, I have heard. And also it's probably a very bad explanation of what a period is, although he did not go into any detail on that.
Thank goodness.
Furthermore, immediately after this, Catherine Ryan says real gangsters run red lights after they start talking about periods, which is great. And then John Richardson has like this formative spark of a joke in his head, which is that I'm tempted to say that a real gentleman waits till it goes green, but that's not right. That's not the right answer for this joke.
Nope.
Which... It's just a hilarious back and forth. There are some great back and forths here.
Oh, there really are. Oh man, I'm really tired. It's nearly 11:30 in the evening where I am. But oh well.
Oh yeah.
We must press on. Joe Wilkinson, he knows he's not going to finish, so he actually spends the time to make a nice lunch with his egg. With some like
he has a big tray. Did you write down what he had on it?
I'll try and say it from memory. He had some salami, some bread, some little sausage roll bites, a can of Dr. Pepper, and something else that looks.
It was a can of. I actually wrote down everything. He had a Dr. Pepper and a can of Sprite.
Okay.
He also had milk, 2 separate bottles of ketchup, what appeared to be a bottle of hot sauce poking out from behind one of the ketchups, and what seemed to be some kind of chocolate bar as like an after dinner thing.
Yeah.
And then he made a crescent of salami slices on one side, and then I guess they were mini sausage rolls on the other side.
Yeah, mini sausage rolls. Very British thing, sausage rolls.
Yeah. And then he added ketchup to the top and drank the Dr. Pepper.
I think we should mention the times so far.
Yes.
John achieved egg, as Alex called it, in 5 minutes 12. Doc did it in 3:35.
No, Doc did it in 35 seconds and 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
If you'll remember, Alex decided to switch them around because he could, and that actually almost made Catherine Ryan like
Alex Horn being the little bitch he is with his timekeeping management duties.
And that almost made Catherine lose her shit because she was like 35 seconds. It's like, oh wait, no, and 3 minutes. But yeah, that's really fast. So you have to heat up the pan and everything. I'm impressed that he did it that quickly.
And Joe Wilkinson achieved egg in 46 seconds and 10 minutes.
Yes.
Then it's Catherine Ryan. Catherine Ryan started by saying, one of those disgusting boys would have eaten the egg raw by now, which had not happened at all. I mean, someone did it later, but...
Don't ruin it. But
I mean,
yes.
If you're watching this, you'll most likely know what happened.
Yes, but
she takes a small sip.
She cracks the egg into the egg cup and takes a small sip of the
and then decides
white.
To just not do it, basically.
Which I would like to point out that as she sips it, there is an audible gasp from what sounds like Alex, and I don't know whether that is from the task or whether or not that is someone gasping in the studio, because they also have the studio audience laughing at that moment.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't really know what to say, but basically, Greg calls Catherine out for basically wrongly being sexist to the boys, saying that they would just like wolfed it down, and in fact, all of them had nicely seasoned and prepped it.
Yes, and she does take the DQ because she could not eat a raw egg.
I mean, but one person who does eat the raw egg,
Richard fucking Osman.
Yeah, the not comedian Richard Osman. He just cracks the egg into the egg cup and downs it raw. And then he picks up his mug of tea and leaves as if nothing happened.
Yes, and then one final comment from this was they were discussing John Richardson. As they did the scores, they were discussing how John Richardson had most of his eggs slop out of the egg cup when he was doing it, and he said that he was not going to hoover it up off the table like
egg-hungry whore. That was probably my favorite line of the episode, and
I wish that.
Oh fuck! I was toddling with some pen, and it just fell out of my hand. Oh god, I'm so fidgety. But anyway, I wish that had been the title of the episode, and not. Yeah. But I guess they couldn't really have put it in the title for like. Broadcasting purposes.
They could have.
Maybe, but maybe they would have had to censor it. But Richard's time is not given, but it really doesn't need to be because he obviously won.
Yeah. Now, I would like to ask you, what would you have done for this task?
Oh, God. I don't know. I think I would have done what John did and slapped it in a microwave because it cooks the egg really, really quickly.
And yet it still took him longer to do it than Doc did. But
yeah, but
you know what? You know what I would have done?
Probably wouldn't. It wouldn't have been the fastest. I know that, but at least it would have been one of the safest, I guess.
You know what I would have done?
Would you have?
And you're gonna think less of me for this. Is that I saw when I was looking at the video an egg with "Eat Me" on it. Mm-hmm. There is no force that would have just stopped me from picking up the egg and eating it, shell and all, at once.
Oh, did you?
Because
maybe you should have eaten the shell as well. Also, eat me was written on the shell.
Eat me was written on the egg. It is just an egg in an egg cup. Like this is, I'm going to make a reference to season 5 when they had the task where it was like stick one thing on a pole, throw one thing into the bin. Aisling B was reading the task and was like you have to you have to throw one of these things, balance one of these things in, and eat one of these. And in mid-sentence, without even looking up from the task, she just picks up like a twiglet, whatever the hell that is, and just eats it mid-sentence. That's what I would have done.
I think
it does not matter that it's a raw egg with a shell. It never would have occurred to me that it would have cut me. I would not have given a single fucking thought to whether or not I'd get sick from it. You eat the egg. Fastest wins. Clearly, the fastest way is to immediately put the entire thing in your mouth. No cracking it, no drinking it, no preparing it. Done.
I mean,
done. Be done in 4 seconds.
Well, I'm not visiting you in the hospital. Let's put it like that.
Actually, if we do want to go on to a tangent about eggs.
Oh.
How do eggs work in the United Kingdom? Because for those of you who might know this, but there are a lot of people who don't. In the United Kingdom, you guys don't refrigerate your eggs, right?
Well, my family does, and I do.
Because there is a difference between in the United States, we universally refrigerate our eggs because we are, as collectively as a nation, scared shitless of salmonella. So all eggs in the U.S. are thoroughly washed, which takes off the protective outer coating that comes naturally from the chicken. And that means that they will spoil if left out, like a lot of European eggs are. And so they've basically been washed to an inch of their life, so we refrigerate them. I don't know whether or not eating whether I would have thought about this, because I kind of know that, and also I don't know whether or not that would make you more or less sick eating a European egg that's probably not been washed to within an inch of its life, like an American.
Well, most British eggs are free range, which is like the healthiest an egg can be.
Okay.
I don't know what else, but I just...
If you are a food safety expert, please reach out to us and tell me how badly I'd be sick at ytsnpod@gmail.com or in the comments below.
I think what I would have done... Actually, can I change my answer?
Yeah.
I would have probably done something along the lines of Joe. But I would have made like a full English breakfast.
Okay.
Because, I mean,
Yeah, you would have definitely come last then.
But Catherine Ryan wouldn't have eaten it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have known that at the time. You would have been like, I'm just going to come last. And
Joe Wilkinson didn't mind coming last.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't come last, but he wasn't afraid of coming in last place if it did happen.
Yeah.
And to be fair, this is one task I wouldn't mind losing, because you can't win everything.
The American in me wants to say, no, you can only win everything or you're a failure. But yeah, it never would have even occurred to me to do like preparation. Like, it wouldn't have occurred to me to do anything other than consume this egg as quickly as possible.
You're impulsive.
Which would have been pick up egg, eat it, done. On to the next thing. And so moving away from eggs.
Going on to the next thing, but quickly bypassing the scores, Richard 5, Doc 4, John 3, Joe 2, Catherine 0, which means the current scores are Doc's way ahead on 9, John and Richard are in joint third on 6, and Joe and Catherine are on 4 points.
Yep. And now this is actually, for scoring this time, my mom actually was sitting next to me watching this, so I'm going to talk about what she thinks of this as well. But
insert Taskmaster Joe jingle here.
Yep. But
wait, hold on.
So
Taskmaster Joe.
Okay, now go.
Okay. So the task 2 is make the best music video for a nursery rhyme. You have 1 hour. Your time starts now. And we're immediately treated to these comedians doing
Richard
nursery
and John
rhymes.
Sharing their experience of like, hey diddle diddle.
Well, Richard didn't really know any nursery rhymes other than like "Hey Diddle Diddle," or he barely knew that one. And then we've also got Catherine's nursery rhyme about a peanut on the train tracks, which I've never heard of outside of this show.
Well,
which presumably means it's some Canadian regional
I did want to
bullshit.
I did want to ask you about that because I was wondering if you'd known.
No.
It being quite close to Canada, I thought maybe you would know Catherine's train
No,
track
I've
peanut
never
butter.
heard that.
Because as Catherine said about Danes and Swedes in the previous episode, it's the same, I think.
Okay, first of all, that is roundly incorrect. Canadians are diet Americans at best. Second of all, no, although Mom did mention that she had heard of it when she was younger, so I don't exactly know whether or not this is some old Canadian nursery rhyme or some old North American-esque
Let's see if I
nursery
can
rhyme.
Google it.
Yeah, you do that while I go through this, because we don't get to see them making the nursery rhyme, which instead we just see the actual nursery rhyme music.
There's
videos.
a cover of there's a video called "The Peanut Sat on a Railroad Track" by David Landau from 2011.
Okay. I've never heard this song before.
Wow, this thing's actually got like 7 or 8 verses.
Yeah, that is something that my mom and I discovered, is that a lot of nursery rhymes have a lot of verses, because we're going to get to that when we talk about Osmond's nursery rhyme video. But we're going to start with John Richardson. And John Richardson did the song Three Blind Mice. And I don't remember the entirety of Three Blind Mice, but it doesn't matter because this is not a vocal version of Three Blind Mice. It's purely instrumental.
The song goes, three blind mice, see how they run, see how they run. They all run after the farm. They all run after the farmer's wife who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a thing in your life as Three Blind Mice? Obviously not in that pentameter or tempo, yes. I think.
But John Richardson did Three Blind Mice on a tiny piano.
Oh.
And
also, can we talk about this camera shot at the beginning? Because it's like
of it looking down on him like that.
His head up really creepily to just look at the camera.
This entire video is creepy because it's a slow pan over a table, and the more you look at it, the more of a story it tells. Because first there's a block of cheese that's been eaten. Then there's little prop like glasses and canes to indicate that these are blind mice.
And then you've got tails.
A bloody tails and a bloody knife. And then you cut over to John Richardson, who's
dressed as the farmer's wife.
He's dressed as the farmer's wife. He has a tail sticking out of his mouth. His mouth is covered in blood, and he looks like the cat that ate the canary. And this is like the creepiest fucking thing. And it's hilarious.
It is a very creepy nursery rhyme. If you think about it, most nursery rhymes are really, really creepy.
Most nursery rhymes are terrible and about people dying. Like
Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, had a great fall, and he falls off a wall.
Humpty Dumpty shattered his skull and died.
Ring a Roses is about the plague.
Ring Around the Rosie is about the plague. Rockabye Baby is like
babies dying.
Baby falling off a tree.
Jack and Jill went up the hill. Jack fell down and broke his crown. It literally says he suffered a major head injury.
Jack fell down and broke his crown. Jill came tumbling after, and then Adam Sandler inflicted a terrible movie on all of us named that.
Maybe we should watch it for the Patreon.
If they pay me, and then I'll make them pay for it. But actually, this is my mom's favorite of all of these. This is her absolute favorite.
This Three Blind Mice one.
She said that she could watch this over and over.
I loved this. It was weird as shit, but I loved it.
Are supposed to be creepy, according to her. And I don't quite agree with that, but I don't have kids. I don't do nursery rhymes, so maybe I'm wrong here. But she loved this one. This is her favorite. moving on to Catherine
who
Ryan.
writes
And
her own nursery rhyme.
Yes, she did. She wrote her own nursery rhyme about James the Dirty Tooth.
We will have to play a
involves-
soundbite of this one because we're
going to have to just play the entire
soundbites
damn
of all of
thing.
them.
Or we can just put in the entire damn thing, maybe. But
no, I think we'll put them sporadically so people know.
Yes, but she wrote this herself. The music video features papercraft, I think, like papercraft animation, where it's like characters on like tongue depressors dancing around in front of a static background.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good animation style for like the limited time she had. And then she talks about like a decayed tooth that nobody likes because he smells.
And then she goes into like this
there's a rap interlude for some reason, and then it ends with "Go to the dentist."
Yeah, but like whispered, like "Go to the dentist."
Yeah.
He's orange and looking rotten, his toothbrush long forgotten. That's James, James the dirty tooth.
Brush, brush.
Candy, crisps, and sweets gave him brittle roots for feet. That's James, James the dirty tooth.
Brush, brush.
I love James in spite of tooth decay. Gingivitis, plaque, bad breath, we're best friends anyway.
But bunnies don't like him, this hat doesn't like him, kittens and foxes and puppies don't like him, his parents don't like him, I love but don't like him. Yeah, nobody likes him because James, oral hygiene, stinks.
James, the dirty tooth.
Go to the dentist.
It's actually got lyrics on Genius.
Oh my god. But yes, it's very.
I don't know if I can sing this because it's probably copyrighted by Taskmaster.
We should see who it's copyrighted by, but yeah, this is actually we should make sure we don't have any copyrighted music in this so that YouTube doesn't flag it. But
Genius has this Taskmaster album, and Alex Horn is credited as the creator. I'll just list the songs because there's not many. Taskmaster Love Rap by Assam Chowdhury. Mike's Tune from Series 11. I'm Always Seeing You Do brackets. Cool Stuff.
Oh, from the Diverse Stripes. That was great.
Quite good considering. By Bob Mortimer. Feat Aisling B. and Sally Phillips.
Oh my god.
The Taskmaster Baby Theme by Ed Campbell. James the Dirty Tooth by Catherine Ryan. Taskmaster Country Rap by Rose Matafeo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by Doc Brown. Over My Shoulder by James Acaster. And the legendary Tree Wizard by Ramesh Ranganathan.
Oh my god.
Tree Wizard has its own Genius page.
If Tree Wizard didn't
There's a picture of Ramesh on the Tree Wizard Genius page.
Oh my god. If Tree Wizard didn't throw us an issue when we put that into last season, I don't think these will throw us any issues, but
still one of my favorite moments, Tree Wizard.
I still hate that one. But anyways, we move on to Richard Osman, and this one was
weird
by
as
far
shit.
The most No, this was the funniest because first of all, I was watching this.
I thought it was pretty shit, this one.
No, we have to talk about this in order because I was watching this on our smart TV downstairs. Our smart TV does not have ad blocker on it, which means that I'm watching these with a shitload of YouTube ads that I fucking hate. And then fucking Osman actually goes and makes a fake YouTube advert for a company that does not exist called Johnson's Wheelbarrows before this. And then, which is really funny by itself because him and Alex are like really just hamming it up in this. And then it has the fake buffering wheel in it, like before, which is exactly what YouTube always does. And then it goes into the actual video, which is, she'll be coming around the mountain is what the song is.
I haven't heard
and
this
it's
nursery
done,
rhyme in ages.
Which it is an homage to Bittersweet Symphony by
The Verve.
I
think
tell
by The Verve.
Verve.
Yeah, I think that.
Who are they?
I think there's some British bands. Yeah, Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. From the album Urban Hymns, appropriately. The Verve were an English rock band formed in Wigan. That's in
Oh, up by Manchester, isn't it?
Wigan's Wigan is a large town in Greater Manchester, England, on the River Douglas.
Yeah, I knew that.
I used to borrow my neighbour's wheelbarrow before I bought a Johnson's wheelbarrow. Now my neighbour asked to borrow my wheelbarrow.
Hi, Alex. Can I borrow your Johnson's wheelbarrow?
No, you have to buy your own Johnson's wheelbarrow.
Ah.
Johnson's wheelbarrows are the best wheelbarrows.
Come round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain, coming round the mountain, coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be wearing red pajamas when she comes. She'll be wearing red pajamas when she comes. She'll be wearing red pajamas, wearing red pajamas, wearing red pajamas when she comes.
I've sent mail to Wigan before.
Also, that's where Wallace and Gromit live. Going back to the topic of cheese.
Really, I didn't know that. Yeah. Now I would like to briefly talk about something, which is that because this entire music video is an homage to the video for Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. I have no idea what the actual music video looks like, but presumably it involves men
You know
walking
the song
down
Bittersweet
a street.
Symphony?
I have no idea what that song
You
is.
might have heard of it. It goes da 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 da.
I have heard that one. I didn't know that's what the music video was. I've never seen the music video for it, but it's Richard Osmond walks down the driveway of the Taskmaster house, knocking people out of his way, clambering through the van that the Taskmaster Ford Transit Connect, and then going into the shed, which is presumably in line with what happens in the music video.
I haven't seen the music video, but I want to say Richard Osman, who's the tallest competitor of the series, in this video he goes through like the smallest places for him. He goes through the white van, and he has to crouch down quite low for it, and then he goes into the shed, which is also not very tall.
Well, first of all, we would like to point out that those were all built with John Richardson in mind. So they are normal sized for tiny people. Also, that is part of tall people humor, is showing exactly how tall you are.
Yeah, we're both quite tall individuals. We can sort of relate to that.
Yes, that is the humor. But the thing I would like to talk about is the lyrics of this song, because the repeated line is she'll be wearing red pajamas when she comes.
Yeah.
That is not the lyric that I have ever heard used in this song before.
I think the thing with she'll be coming around the mountain is that you can add whatever you want in that, like, first repeating verse.
I was going to ask if this was a British specific lyric, because the one that I've always heard in the United States is she'll be driving 6 white horses.
I've heard that one too.
Which is like and I didn't know whether that was a specific British thing or if this was just a chosen rhyme, which also Mom and I looked up the rest of the lyrics. There's apparently like 6 verses to this that I've never heard before, and I'm not going to try and find now because I didn't think of it until just now.
I mean, it's a very She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain is a very American song, I think. Like it's one of the key like American nursery rhymes, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those ones that, like, she'll be coming around the mountain driving 6 white horses as she comes is definitely like an American-esque wagon train sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know what
6 white horses.
I don't know who she is meant to be, but I think that's you can insert any female figure close to you into it. That's what I did.
Yeah, but yeah, I always thought they were just anthropomorphizing the incoming wagon or whatever, because it's like driving 6 white horses is what they would do is like in ye olden times of stagecoaches and wagon trains, they'd have a lot of horses on. 6 wide is, I think, like just 6 horses across pulling a really heavy load.
I thought the lyric was 6 white horses.
Well, I don't know. Is it? Can you look that up while I talk about the next one? Because actually, no. I need you for this next one because I have.
It says
no
she'll be
idea
riding 6 white horses.
6 white horses. Wow, I've gone for 24 years thinking it's 6 wide horses.
Well, that'd be taking up a lot of horizontal space.
It's the Old West. It's very big. It was empty. I don't know. I don't
also,
know,
it's a
man.
mountain. A mountain path wouldn't be like... Because 6 wide horses, I mean, that's probably like the length of 2 or 3 cars, maybe?
Maybe the horses were all really fat, and they were just in a line, and they were, like, wide was a descriptor of the horse.
What are we talking about? We're getting...
Nursery rhymes! They're all stupid!
Yeah, no, they're all stupid or creepy and...
Help me with this
really
next one,
fucking
please.
disturbing. Okay, we can do.
Help me with this next one, because this is Doc Brown's one, and I genuinely have no idea at any point in this rhyme what song it's supposed to be.
You've not heard the song 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. You've never heard that before?
No!
I think it's a very... Let me... It might be a British one, because I heard that song fucking all the time, and I still kind of...
No, I've never heard this. My mom has never heard this. I was staring at this because, you know, Doc Brown is a rapper. Doc Brown did
okay. This is why.
As a rap. As a rap music video.
This is what it says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a popular English language nursery rhyme, and a counting rhyme, obviously. It is a road spelled R-O-U-D, folk song index. Is a road folk song index is a database of around 250,000 references to nearly 25,000 songs collected from oral tradition in the English language from all over the world. It is compiled by Steve Road, a former librarian in the London borough of Croydon.
Never heard of it.
Croydon.
Never heard of it. I know where Croydon is. I've never heard of this song. I've never heard of this song before in my life. And then Doc rapping it, nothing against rap music, made it even less comprehensible because I had no frame of reference for what he was doing.
The full rhyme goes, it's very similar, and it goes to this tune. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Why did you let it go? Because he bit my finger so. Which finger did he bite? This little finger on my right. And that's the whole song.
That's cool.
Let me read the origins and meaning on the Wikipedia page. It's really not that long. It'll probably...
Okay.
The rhyme is one of many counting out rhymes. It was first recorded in Mother Goose's Melody around 1765. Like most versions until the late 19th century, it had only the first stanza and dealt with a hare, not a fish, with the words, oh, this is another verse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I caught a hare alive, no once. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I let him go again. The modern version is derived from 3 variations collected by Henry Bolton in the 1800s from America.
Okay, 1800s America is literally 200 years ago. It might have just gone out of fashion. I've never heard of it in the United States. My mom has never heard of it in the United States. So, you know, this might be a West Coast thing because, you know, they're talking about fish. Did they mention a specific fish in it?
No, it's just a fish. But the fish... What fish did Doc say uses? Was it a salmon or something?
Okay, so let me just recap this video. Doc is standing on the bank of the Thames.
Yeah, I've been to the area where Doc filmed this video as well.
Yeah, the Taskmaster house is located next to the River Thames,
yeah.
or almost on the banks of the Thames. He's standing on the banks of the Thames, rapping about this, and at multiple points in time, a salmon is thrown through the air.
Obviously, we're going to play a sound bit of it.
What's up, kids? You know a lot of these nursery rhymes chat pure gibberish, fantasy. This one's got some real talk for you, yeah? Hashtag true story. Yo, it goes 1, 2 to the 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. I said 6, 7 to the 8, 9, 10. Then I let that little go again. You say,
Did you let it go?
bit my finger, bro.
Which finger did it bite?
This little finger on my right.
And Doc punches a salmon out of the air like 4 or 5 times.
And it's what causes his hand to bleed like shit.
As is pointed out, he punched the fish so hard that he hurt his hand from the scales. And he is not a fish man. My notes on this, actually, the entire notes for Doc's Brown wrapped this one in parentheses. What nursery rhyme was it? 5 question marks. Real talk in parentheses because he starts with real.
Did
talk.
you not like Google it afterwards to see what it was?
I couldn't understand what he was saying because he was rapping it fairly quickly, and I had no idea like
that wasn't quick rapping. Quick rapping is the infamous Eminem Rap God verse.
Okay, I'm aware of that, but when you have no idea what he's supposed to be saying, it's just a jumble of sounds. And you're also being very confused at why he's hitting a salmon.
Well, he's pissed off because it bit his finger.
None of this makes any sense. And anyway, I
cannot find origins for this at all. I mean,
if you know the origins of this song, please write to us at ytsnpod@gmail.com or leave it in the comments below on this YouTube video. Why is this a song? Who wrote this? Where is it popular?
Well, it's oral tradition, so
it certainly is not America.
Oh yeah, this was one of the nursery rhymes I heard a lot growing up. Which is prime like 2004, 2006.
Okay, this is not a nursery rhyme that I've ever heard in my life, and I had no idea what Doc was saying. He hurt his hand on a salmon.
That's all you know.
So this was not my favorite one. Finally, we have
Joe Wilkinson,
who did a very recognizable nursery rhyme that I think we all know. Old MacDonald Had a Farm.
Well, it's a recognizable song, but it was a not so recognizable version of it.
It was very recognizable.
Well, it was recognizable, but it was shit.
It was very low energy, and I liked it.
We'll play it so you can get an idea of what it says.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, with an oink, oink here and an oink, oink there, everywhere an oink, oink, with a quack, quack here and a quack, quack there, everywhere quack, quack, with a moo, moo, moo here and a moo, moo there, everywhere moo, moo, with a nay, nay here and a nay, nay there, everywhere nay, nay, with a cluck, cluck here and a cluck, cluck there, everywhere cluck, cluck, with a bar, bar here and a bar, bar there, everywhere bar, bar. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I do, won't it?
Joe Wilkinson and Alex Horner standing in front of a green screen. Joe Wilkinson is, without even attempting to sing, reciting the lyrics of Old MacDonald Had a Farm somewhat incorrectly.
It feels like someone's behind the camera with a gun and cue cards and getting them all mixed up. And
maybe because apparently he did not recite the words in the exact order, but Alex is ducking out of frame every time.
Pun intended, because he pops up as a duck one point.
Yeah, every time Joe calls up a new animal or the farmer or anything with some sort of prop to go along with the animal, and that's the entire music video. It goes on for a couple of verses, then it stops, and it's funny. It's funny because it's low effort. This is Tree Wizard done properly. Because he's not trying to disguise the fact that it's terrible. Ramesh, we've gone over this before, but that's the music videos. Now Greg scored these very differently from myself and my mom. So
wait, hold on.
Taskmaster Joe.
Okay, now you can
we
do
want to
it.
do. Okay, so just to recap the scores that Greg gave before we do Taskmaster Joe, he did give first place jointly to Doc Brown and John Richardson because those were objectively the best music videos.
Yeah,
which I'm not gonna lie, they're not the, you know, like, I don't like Doc's, but if you know what the nursery rhyme is, you're gonna put it a little bit higher. A lot of my dislike of this song is because I had no idea what it was. And then
yes, I can see why.
I genuinely had no idea what he was going on about. And when you have no idea what's happening, the punching of the salmon makes no sense, and neither does the blood on his finger. Like imagine watching.
It's also now
a
Thursday
foreign
where
film
I am.
with this. Cool, happy Thursday. Imagine watching a foreign film with like the subtitles off, and you think you know where it's going, and then suddenly there's a change. There's like a change in direction. That's kind of what it was. It's very rare I get like totally blindsided. This was one of them. But
scores.
Anyway,
scores.
Anyways, there's no second place. He gave third place to Catherine.
Well, I think he did give 4 points to Catherine, did he not?
No, he gave John and Doc first, joined first, skipped second, and gave Catherine third.
But I wrote down and on the wiki, he says he gave.
Well, then I misheard that, and he gave her second. Then next was Osmond.
Richard Osman.
And then finally was Joe Wilkinson.
Which means the scores at this point are Doc's in first on 14, John on 11, Richard on 9, Catherine on 8, and Joe on 6. And now it's time to do
Taskmaster
Joe.
Joe.
Go for it.
Yes.
Taskmaster Joe.
So to start with, my mom and I both loved the Three Blind Mice one. I thought it was a little weirder, but mom gave it definite first place. She adored this. I liked but mom adored it. I gave it second place because I thought that Joe Wilkinson's video was very funny. That is, it captures the peak nursery rhyme aesthetic because you're showing this to a child. You are tired. You don't want to have to recite Old MacDonald Has a Farm for the 9,000th time. This is like peak tired nursery rhyme, and I like that. Mom gave that one second, so we differ a bit there. Then we both gave Richard Osman third because Mom didn't understand what the music video was supposed to be an homage to, but it was an actual music video as opposed to that, and we knew the song, which is very important. Then my mom gave fifth place to Doc and Catherine, and then I gave fourth place to Doc.
Okay.
And then I gave fifth place to Catherine as well.
Okay.
Because Catherine's is not a nursery rhyme, because this is not a nursery rhyme. This is basically a public service announcement about the benefits of brushing your damn teeth. It's not a nursery rhyme. It's very well produced, but it's not a nursery rhyme. This is brush your teeth, you smelly child, is what this is. This is like a nursery rhyme is something you sing to your child to make them go to bed. If you sing to your child about dentistry to make them go to sleep, you are either a J.K. Rowling character or you are the most boring human being in existence. And neither one of those are nursery rhyme worthy.
I want to ask you, what nursery rhyme would you have done and how would you have done it? Because this would be a fun one to answer.
If I'm being entirely honest, the only nursery rhyme I remember is Rockabye Baby. And if we're either that or if we're counting I've been working on the railroad as a nursery rhyme, maybe that. I have no idea what I would do for either of them.
I think maybe as an American you could get away with the work. I don't quite know the working on the railroad one, but I think you could get away with it as an American.
Yeah, it's more along the lines of I don't know if it's really a nursery rhyme.
Well, is it a song like small children would sing?
Yeah, but also I'm weird and I liked trains a lot, so I don't really know if that's like a universal thing. Also, I really have no idea how I would perform either of those. So, or like do a video for those. So I'm kind of I might think of one later, but I don't remember most nursery rhymes from my childhood.
I have two options for what to do, because one of my favorite nursery rhymes growing up was Humpty Dumpty. I have two. What I would have done as Humpty Dumpty, I would probably just like drawn a face on an egg and like, or maybe I would have like done like camera trickery and so like from up close it would look like Alex Horn is Humpty Dumpty, and then it pans back to where the egg a normal egg falls off the wall and it's all like broken and the yolks everywhere and stuff, and then like I would come on. Myself and some of the camera crew would come on dressed as like soldiers on horseback, and we'd all just be like looking at the broken egg.
That's involved. Now that you said Humpty Dumpty, I was thinking of that one. My entire thing would be like, in my head, I would love to just have it be the video of me from the Eat Me Fastest Win task of just eating the egg and that's it.
Okay.
But no, it would be Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and it would just be an egg, and then Humpty Dumpty have a great fall. The egg gets smashed by a brick,
wow,
and then it's like just more gruesome things happening to an egg.
The other one I do would probably be a Ring of Roses, but we'd all be dressed like plague doctors.
Wow, that's a great way to win. That's great. That would be great if you could do that.
Well, if you ask Alex for anything, he could probably get it for you on the fly.
Yeah, I mean, a plague doctor mask, and if you do some Dutch angles and stuff and get ominous children chanting it.
Like, like creepy ghost kid style.
Creepy ghost kid style.
I won't sing it in creepy ghost kid style because it sends fucking chills down my spine. When someone sings it like
it's one of those ones where it's like the only time it's creepy is when someone is telling you, "Oh, didn't you know it's about the plague?" And then they always do it creepy. It's like it wasn't creepy before, you fuck.
Like creepy music box music really gets me.
Mm-hmm. It's very contextual. It's very like, is this context supposed to be creepy? Well, go fuck yourself. I hate creepy stuff. It's
okay.
I think onwards.
I'm gonna breeze through this next one.
This one is on the shortest task of the episode.
So I'll make this very quickly. Hopefully, I can do it in like 3-4 minutes. Task 3: take a photo of an inanimate object that looks like yourself. So, Doc Brown.
This one featured a disposable film camera, by the way, which I thought was a very nice touch.
Wasn't it? I thought it was a Polaroid.
No. This one was they have a camera. The full text of the task is using this camera. Take a picture of an inanimate object that looks like you. Closest resemblance wins. You have 20 weeks. Your time starts now. And there's a disposable film camera.
Okay.
That's been covered in a paper wrapping because they always have the brand name of the like Fujifilm or Kodak or something written on the camera.
Yeah.
And then they take that off of the task and they go about and they do that.
Sorry. Okay, so I guess I'll run through what everyone went through. So Doc, his inanimate object was a doll of like a posable action figure, like an Action Man or Barbie doll.
It says it's an action figure from JLS.
Yeah, Martin Humes from JLS. So do you know JLS?
What's JLS?
It's a British boy band. It's no offense to the JLS guys, but I wouldn't say they were like One Direction big.
Okay.
So the members include Marvin Humes, obviously, JB Gill, Arisha Williams, and my personal favorite, Aston Marigold.
You're saying these names like I know who they are.
Well, I'm just reading off the Wikipedia page, and I just kind of like got to know them. I don't really listen to their music, but I know their names and stuff. Like I know the names of the One Direction guys, but I don't like listen to their music. Well, when they were together, that is. But yeah, no offense to like the others who are not Aston, but Marvin does, the doll especially looks weirdly like Doc Brown.
Yeah.
And
although Catherine thinks that he should be disqualified because he thinks that two black men look alike.
I mean, I'm not sure how to respond to that in this context. But
it's no from the show. She thinks that he should get disqualified.
Yeah, mate. And also Joe got a toaster, which still kind of looked like him, even without the second picture.
Yes, Joe Wilkinson apparently punched in this toaster because it doesn't work.
It only browns on one side, according to him.
Yep.
And it shows a picture of Joe. There's a picture of Joe is like where he's like looking upward. I think it's like his scoreboard picture. But you could like the grey bit in the reflection of the toaster does look like the bottom of his beard.
Yeah, it's really funny because you can sort of do like process of elimination on everything else, and then you sort of go, oh wait, that's Wilkinson. I honestly like. This is not a Taskmaster Joe segment, but I want to rate him higher for this task because it's a really like this is like the purest form of inanimate object that looks like you. I just don't know how further up I'd put him.
I don't know it. I mean, I can't really I don't really know of any inanimate objects that look like me.
Well, then you could go the John Richardson approach.
Maybe, but I'd like to be more creative. Anyway, speaking of John Richardson and what he did was he made a 3D print of his head and it to scale as well. And Greg puts it on his shoulder and it's like a tiny little thing and it genuinely looks like John Richardson standing next to Greg.
It does. Which also gives me my favorite exchange of the episodes. Where'd you get that printed off? 3D printers. It's like, it's such an obvious thing, but also we didn't have 3D printers like even a couple of years ago.
Sorry for my creaky chair.
It's really funny. And yeah, it's really fun. Also, it doesn't look great in the picture, but it's actually apparently fairly lifelike in real
Also,
life.
Greg said John tells Greg that he can keep it for like his good conscience, and Greg says he will keep it, but not for those purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Gregory.
Good old Gregory Davis.
Oh, big Gregory. He's always watching you. And anyway, and Catherine pulls out some box art of a woman from, I'm not exactly sure, Shapewear Spanx, which sounds like some leggings.
Yes, Spanx is basically it's like compression shapewear. I don't wear them, but I know what they are.
I thought they sounded like a leggings brand.
They kind of okay. Hold on, I can Google this. I'm smart.
We're both pretty unintelligent, to be honest.
Spanx, spelled S-P-A-N-X, is an American underwear maker focusing on shaping briefs and leggings. You basically wear them over your
own
a woman
underwear.
would wear these around like between like mid chest and mid thigh, and it like minimizes any body fat you might have in that
It's
area.
like a corset.
Because we as a society
it's like a corset, making her waist a bit smaller.
Yeah, actually that's probably a good thing. It's like compression hose but for your butt.
Okay. Like I know what
That's the type. Oh, compression hose is stuff you wear if you need to increase circulation in your legs.
I can't remember what we suggested for the title of this episode, to be honest.
We should have that as the episode title, like compression hose for your butt.
Compression hose for your butt. Okay.
But yeah, compression hose is basically
we're like choosing between we're like choosing pudding in a restaurant with like our titles. Like we can't decide what to go with.
Why not everything? We did that once. But compression hose is basically really tight socks that increase circulation. I wear them sometimes.
I had to wear like a sleeve when my leg hurt to sort of like get blood flowing.
Yeah. on long airplane flights especially, it's recommended you wear them if you're a bigger person like me because it prevents deep vein thrombosis.
I wouldn't say you look.
Is when
I mean, I'm looking at your picture. I wouldn't say you're that.
I'm very like just physically large, and if
when
you
was
sit
this
down
picture
for a long
taken?
time, last month.
Okay.
I'm physically very large, and sometimes if you sit down for a while, it can, like on long airplane flights, can screw with your blood flow. Lady Gaga once had it happen to her because she actually was wearing a dress that was made almost entirely of duct tape.
Is this like late 2000s? Was this
so,
late 2000s Lady Gaga or late 2010s Lady Gaga?
Early 2010s, late 2000s Lady Gaga was wearing a dress made entirely out of duct tape on an airplane.
That is something Lady Gaga at the time would do.
It was so tight on her legs that she had to have it cut off because she was going to have a medical emergency.
Like modern day Lady Gaga would not do that, I think.
But,
I feel like she's toned down her fashion sense.
Lady Gaga is just sort of there and still making great music, and for some reason I've never really gotten into her stuff, and I always am like wondering why.
The soundtrack for A Star Is Born is very good.
Yeah, everything she's done is at the very least good, and I've just never really gotten into it, and I'm never quite certain why.
I quite like Lady Gaga. I've got a couple of her songs on my playlist.
Yeah, and then
songs
we
like
have Task Force.
Never mind. Oh no! Wait, hold on. We skipped over. Did we skip over Richard Osman?
No. Yes, we did. Richard Osman, the obvious winner of this task.
He took a picture of the eye protection must be worn demonstration guy, and it looks like him.
It looks like him.
Point blank and simple. Just get a picture and put it here.
Which I would also like to point out that is the European eye protection must be worn sign. There are different warning signs for in America versus the European.
It's uncanny right down to the shape of the glasses, and I think that is
and
what
the
inspired.
Hair.
Yeah, and the hair, and I think it's that picture.
That's his Twitter profile picture.
I thought I think it inspired the Richard Osman's House of Games logo.
Yeah. It obviously is, because that's what you would do. But just as a quick tangent, because I am coming up against a time limit because we're ordering food for dinner in a little bit.
Okay.
So we're gonna power through this last bit.
We might still break 2 hours.
Oh, we're gonna break 2 hours, but I just got the text message like a minute ago saying, "What do you want for?" Well, we're ordering Chinese, so I'm going to get beef egg foo yum, Our local Chinese restaurant does beef on a stick, which is basically just teriyaki beef and teriyaki chicken on like it's not like a kebab, but it's a very small wooden stick, and then fried dumplings and crab rangoon.
Okay. So I'm going to quickly rattle off the scores, leave a bit of space, and then we'll do Taskmaster Joe. So
you don't need to do Taskmaster Joe for this one. I agree with everything except maybe Wilkinson being higher.
Okay. Well, so the scores are Richard 5, John 4, Catherine 3, Joe 2, and Doc 1.
Yes, and now we get to the funniest task of the entire thing, which is
this one was funny, but it was also a nightmare to make notes for.
Because this one was edited together, and we're just going to very quickly run through the task, which is you are to order the following. The contestants are to order the following pizza for the Taskmaster: an extra large vegetarian pizza with pepperoni and bacon, but without cheese and tomato.
And you cannot say any of the key words.
You cannot say the following words: extra, large, vegetarian, pizza, pepperoni, bacon, tomato, or cheese, and then you also get a bonus point if you can make the person on the other end of the phone at the pizza shop say the word bubbles. Now, before we get any further, my mom came up with a suggestion on how to do this within the conventional logic of not just saying, "Hi, I can't say certain words," which is that she said, and she actually wrote this down, so I'm going to write down what she said. You have to order the biggest pie with olives, peppers, onions, etc. Whatever their menu says a vegetarian pizza has, except don't say tomato. Then ask what kind of meats they have, and say yes when they say bacon and pepperoni. Then say none of that gooey, bubbly stuff, or just say no dairy. And And that is her suggestion, which is basically to make them give all of the ingredients to you and then you select.
That's a good suggestion. I don't know if I'd have thought of that in the moment.
I have a different suggestion, which would go as this. Hi, is this the pizza shop? Yeah, I lost a bet, and I can't use any of the words to order what you sell, but I have to order one of them. Can you please be very patient with me, and I'll tip you very well?
That's a good idea.
But we're going to have to walk through this a bit. Or you could say that you crawled for comic relief. You could also do that. But yes, but no one actually thought to do either of those. They all actually just tried to do it as straight as they could. As some background information that they said at the beginning of the task, there were 5 separate pizza places, local pizza shops, apparently not chains. They all were real pizzas that were really delivered, and so they called those and they did this. And Doc Brown went first, although it was Doc and Joe together, and then Doc.
Just want to say, Joe,
first off the bat.
Joe called the first number. Joe called was unrecognized.
Yes, it did say that he had not dialed the number correctly. It just sort of gave this number is not in service menu. But Doc calls and he immediately screws up by saying that he doesn't want any extras, which in this context, in the context it was written down, you couldn't say extra large, but in actuality, you could not say the words extra or large. So he did not realize that. And then he also is trying to get this person to figure out what kind of pork product he wants. And he tries talking about like breakfast sausage, and it doesn't work. And he's like, pork is a sausage. He spelled the word bacon, which is a very interesting way of doing it that he was not penalized for. I'm not sure how you feel about that, but I think that's a very interesting workaround. And then he also said the word pizza at the end.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yes. Joe Wilkinson wants a round, doughy meal, and without red sauce or fromage, which I thought was a nice touch. Actually, that for those listening, my dad, whenever we take pictures, he says fromage instead of cheese. So it's all that's always really funny.
So their mouths are like
Joe.
So they're like making a sound as you take a picture.
No, he just smiles and says fromage. Because the whole reason you say cheese when you take a picture is because your mouth makes the smile shape as you're saying it, but we just don't. We just sort of say cheese and then smile, and then the picture is taken.
Okay.
It's 2021. We all know how to smile in a picture, but and we've gotten to the point where you can take a bunch at once thanks to digital cameras. Anyways, Joe Wilkinson also does not want red sauce and fromage. He does say the word bacon, and then he finishes the call by telling the pizza shop worker, "I love you," which is always very nice. And then we get on to the next 3, because these were all done at once, which is really, really not helpful for when you're watching this, trying to figure out who did what and writing it down for your notes. But Catherine, John, and Richard are all grouped together. They all used words to sort of dance around the issue. Like they all sort of like approached the hi, can I order something like from the side? Like they came at it sideways. Like, can I get like an extra large? Can I get like a venti? Is what Catherine Ryan asked for. Richard is blaming a bunch of imaginary people for why his pizzas have like such conflicting ingredients. John Richardson just said the word pizza several times.
Just gives up.
Richard, interestingly enough, the instructions were that they didn't want tomato sauce or cheese, so you basically have just like bread with meat. He orders a pizza with a barbecue sauce base, which is not wrong, but is also not correct. And,
I mean, can you penalize him for that? I don't know.
Listen, we're going to get to that in a second, because his pizzas in particular are really funny. And then, and yes, I did say pizzas plural, but Catherine, meanwhile, gets through most of this correctly and then has to call back to the pizza place because she did not tell them without cheese. Of course, she can't say the word cheese, so she has to dance around this issue, have them say the word for her, and then apologize by saying, I'm not from England. I'm not from this country. I'm sorry. In perfect English.
Also, can I just say happy 2 hours?
Hey, it is 2 hours.
Maybe this will be
and
our
it's
longest
Thursday
episode.
where you are. This is definitely going to be the longest episode, unless you just want to blow through the live task as quickly as
there's
possible.
not much to say about the live task, but let's just keep going.
But this task was really hard to figure out how many mistakes people made because Alex only sort of kind of mentions them, and we're not shown all of them on camera, so I couldn't count them out myself. But the only thing that we know because they actually did show pizzas on screen, and Joe in the future in the edit, do not show a picture of all the pizzas on the screen because you're going to have to take screenshots, and that's going to be a pain at the 2 hour mark in the show to do. So don't.
The 2 hour mark.
The 2 hour mark in the thing. When I edit these, I put in screenshots from the show a lot, and I know that I'm going to have to snip out like 5 different scenes from the episode to show the pizzas that were ordered. Okay. And I really don't want to do that. So I'm leaving a note for myself in the future.
Okay.
Time travel, motherfucker. And so we are seeing most of them got it correct, or there were some minor mistakes, except for Richard Osman, who managed to somehow order 2 pizzas, both of which had cheese on them. I don't know how he managed this, but he got 2 pizzas with cheese on them, and it's really, really funny. Then the bonus round is mentioned, which is that how many times you can get them to say bubbles. Joe Wilkinson and Doc Brown both gave the name Bubbles as their name for the pizza shop. Richard, because he's a game show host, asked the pizza shop person if they remembered the name of Michael Jackson's pet chimp. Which, for anyone who doesn't remember, Michael Jackson had a pet chimp named Bubbles. Yeah. I vaguely remember that.
I think it was something he was famous for amongst...
He was famous for that when I was very young because Michael Jackson did die in 2008 and hadn't really been relevant for over a decade before that.
But then when he died, he was fucking everywhere again.
He was fucking everywhere again because we all sort of remembered, oh wait,
and when we say he was fucking everywhere, that has more than one that's open to interpretation.
Yeah. And but naturally the pizza shop owner did not know the name of Michael Jackson's pet chimp. John Richardson
just asked him to say the word bubbles.
That is something that my mom didn't realize either.
Who asked if they could say the word bubbles? Was it Joe?
That was Joe Wilkinson.
And he still said no. He said the word, can you say bubbles? And the guy over the phone was like, bubbles, without realizing it. And then just no. And then it's just like, that's it. But it didn't matter.
But yeah, you were allowed to say the word bubbles. Catherine Ryan actually danced around this issue as well. She thought that she was trying to explain like the bubbles in the pizza crust, which I don't know why a pizza shop would not know about yeast bubbles, but apparently they did not. John Richardson asked if he could get a drink that didn't have bubbles in it, or like a non-carbonated beverage, which again they did not understand.
It didn't say you couldn't say bubbles.
Yes.
Which I don't think a lot of people grasped.
Nope, they did not. But at the end of the day, Catherine, Joe, and Doc all did get someone to say bubbles. Which gets us to our scores at the end, is because I actually did not have any fucking idea who got what score until Alex just said it at the end. John Richardson came first, Joe Wilkinson came second, Catherine Ryan third, Doc Brown fourth, Richard Osman fifth.
Richard got 2 pizzas somehow.
Richard got 2 pizzas somehow. Richard got 2 pizzas. Both of them contained cheese. One of them had a barbecue sauce base. It was really weird. Now let's very quickly. So
And
that
the
we can
scores
save
at this
our viewers.
point, the overall scores, John has overtaken the lead from Doc. So John's on 20, Doc's on 18. Catherine and Richard are both on 15, and Joe is on 13.
Yes, and now on to the live task.
So the live task is put potatoes into a basket using extra large chopsticks, which are actually snooker cues, which are taller than John Richardson.
This is actually the wordiest task you've got so far. Do you want me? I actually wrote the whole thing down. Do you want me?
You can do, yeah.
Using these big chopsticks, get these potatoes into your basket. You may only hold the chopsticks by the grips provided. The big chopsticks may only touch the potatoes. Whoever gets the most potatoes in the basket after 100 seconds wins.
Yeah, very wordy.
It's a very wordy task that Joe Wilkinson did not read loud enough, and so Richard Osman did not hear part of it. That will become important in a moment.
I didn't have many notes. Obviously, the big thing was that Richard Osman started picking up the potatoes with his hands and putting them on his chopsticks so he could just empty them like down a slide into his basket.
The chopsticks have balls on the end of them.
Yeah,
too.
I think that making gripping
so
easier.
you can't stab. No, so you can't stab the potatoes.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
And then what else?
Everyone gets angry. Pretty angry. Joe's basket falls off stage.
So does Doc's.
I think it was John who steals someone else's potato because everyone started with 10 potatoes. But John stole someone else's. Nearly said Joel.
Doc is not a potato man either. He's not a fish man. He's not an egg
He's
man.
not a much man, I guess you could say.
Yeah. John got 11 out of 10 potatoes, as you said, and then Catherine got 5 of 10. Those are the only numbers we are given about this
Doc
task.
and Joe, both got 0, and Richard is disqualified because Greg thinks he broke the rules.
Yeah, well, he did. The rules weren't explained to him very much. But
anyway, that leaves the scores as follows. Joe is in last on 13, Richard's on 15, Doc's on 18, Catherine's on 19, but good episode for John, he finished on 25.
John Richardson gets his cardigan back. He is the winner of the task.
Yay!
Yay!
I can go to bed, yay!
You can go to bed. I can have Chinese, which we should just point out. Last thing, John Richardson pulls his shirt over the top of the leg mannequin holding up Catherine's leggings and pretends that he's wearing them. It's really funny. That's the end of this. You have to go to bed. I have to go eat Chinese. It's been 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 50 seconds, and this is probably our longest or second longest.
It will be our longest. We'll be back soon though, everyone. Bye.
Bye.